single instrument comes with its cliches and perceptions that are often held by people that don't play the instrument. One thing that we often hear as percussionists is that percussion is not that hard, often coming from non-percussionists. But today, I'm going to teach you that percussion is harder than you think. Number 1, versatility. There are so many aspects of percussion. There's world percussion, marching percussion, there's orchestral percussion. Wind symphony percussion is a bit different than orchestral if you really want to break things down. Ensemble percussion, there's so many things that involves. And it's almost difficult to say that there is one really well-rounded percussionist. Of course, a lot of us try our hardest, but I don't think that there's anybody that is really all-encompassing excellent at absolutely every instrument that there is. That's one thing that's super exciting about percussion as well, is that every time you learn a new instrument, there's still 2 more out there that you still need to learn. Every instrument comes with its different technique, different playing ability. That makes it really difficult and still interesting to learn to play these things. There's so many different sides of percussion that people don't even realize is there. Number 2, technique. One common misconception about percussion that drives me insane is that people think that it's just going up and hitting something. There are certain ways that we have to hit things, trust me. There are certain techniques that have to be done using your hands, your wrists, your fingers, your fulcrum within your wrists and hands and fingers that really help to create the sound that someone wants to make. Don't even get the community in percussion started about the different arguments with 4 mallet grips. Another aspect of technique falls under limb interdependence. Oftentimes you'll see 4 mallet players do one thing with one hand and one thing with the other hand. A lot of pianists are back there saying, well, I do that all the time. Let me tell you, it goes to a whole different level when you involve your feet, something that organists are a bit more familiar with than pianists. It's really incredible if you've never seen a drum set player up close to watch them play and notice that all 4 of their limbs are doing entirely different rhythms from one another. You've got one foot doing one thing, one foot doing the other thing, and then your hands. It's almost like your brain has to go on autopilot when you're playing drum set and let some of the limbs that are doing the less difficult parts just go ahead and keep that rhythm going while your other limbs are doing more difficult pieces. Number 3 is notation. Even if people have been reading music for a really long time, percussion notation is a whole different beast. While 4 mallet marimba repertoire looks a lot like piano music, there are a lot of other aspects of percussion that looks nothing like anything else in music. Take, for example, world percussion music. There's a lot of things in there that are really unique to that specific instrument. That's why a lot of percussion music has keys on the front of it, especially for things like multi-percussion or for ensemble music. That way you know what each one of the lines means and is trying to say, or what each one of the shapes means. Number 4 is consistency. Consistency is a vital part of percussion, especially when it comes to ensemble pieces that are played with an orchestra or a wind symphony. These are really more geared towards things like cymbals, triangle, tambourine, woodblock, etc. An example of this is John Adams' Short Ride in a Fast Machine, where the woodblock part has to keep a really consistent timing as well as dynamic level throughout the entire piece. It can be extremely difficult for the player to keep this machine-like consistency on their instrument. This same need for consistency carries over into a lot of different aspects of percussion as well. A good way to think about how different this is if you were, say, a string player, you would add ebbs and flow to the music and small hairpins and dynamics that aren't necessarily written into the music, but for percussion, it's very important in many areas to not do that, because you are the thing that is keeping the beat and the rhythm, basically a metronome. That's what percussion is. And those are just a couple of reasons why percussion is so much more difficult than a lot of musicians give it credit for. But what do you think? Was your perception changed about percussion at all? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.